Okay, we're here today with this wonderful and amazing person. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, and how you grew up?
Absolutely. My name is Stephanie Acosta. I'm from Santa Barbara, California. My family is from Sinaloa. I am the niece of Oscar Jeff Acosta, who was the attorney of Hunter Thompson, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I grew up there in Santa Barbara and moved to San Francisco when I was 22 after getting out of the Army.
And did you have both of your parents growing up? How was your family?
My mother and my father got divorced when I was 2. When I was 2 years old, my father wanted custody of me, and so my mother and father went to court, and my uncle, Oscar, and my grandmother, my abuelita, were waiting in the apartment to hear the verdict. Now, had the verdict gone to my father, I would have been flown off to Mexico, and my life would have been totally different. So, the custody went to my mom, right? And I grew up in Echo Park, California, in Los Angeles, California, Echo Park. I went to Elysian Heights School, elementary. I lived there until I was about 12, and then I moved to Santa Barbara, California, where my life completely changed. I grew up very low income, having no money. I always had what I needed, but not as an excess, to having everything I wanted. When I turned 18, I left Santa Barbara and moved to San Francisco. That's where my addiction really took off. That's where it really took off. The first time I found heroin, it was basically like finding God. It was better than sex. It was better than any man, any best friend. It didn't matter. As long as I had that feeling of numbing myself from the pain that I had gone through, throughout my life, that was enough. I am a heroin addict. I've been a heroin addict. I'm 54 years old. I've been a heroin addict since I was 21.
What are some of the crazy things that you've seen here in San Francisco? Like, what do you think would be some of the
bodies, murder, rape, kidnapping, death, overdose, people left for dead in trash cans, people dead on the street with flies flying around them, and people stepping over them just to get to work. And that's the honest to God truth.
And what would you say your experience has been like here in San Francisco? Like, what are some of the things that you've done since you've been here? Like how
the successful things I've done, or this?
In the process of addiction.
The process of addiction. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say that's exact. Yeah. Okay. I started smoking heroin at 22, and I said I would never ever stick a needle in my arm. I'll never do it. I just won't do it. But eventually that isn't enough. That feeling is not enough. So it just took one time and one person with a syringe to inject the heroin into my body for me to switch over. At that point, the worst thing I have ever have done is I have had my mother drive me to Tijuana, Mexico, because I was so dope sick, to buy me heroin in Tijuana and drive me back. This was in Los Angeles at the time. I risked a lot from my parents and my family. I've asked them to do some ridiculous things, you know. I mean, who has their, you know, their mother, you know, to take their child, you know, somewhere to buy them heroin across the border.
What do you think are some of the crazier things that you've asked them to do, or that you've been through with your family throughout this addiction?
When my Uncle Oscar was alive, in 70, which is what I remember.